We have a full apprenticeship program. So the idea is once we get these guys out of the truck, or in their own truck, I should say, we'll send them with a little bit more of an experienced apprentice for right now, and then we'll hire some additional apprentices for our residential.
Now the licensing in Michigan, I'm always, as I'm a, I'm not a novice anymore, but I didn't come from the industry, right? So I'm always amazed at state by state, everyone's got different city by city. It's always kind of crazy to me. But so in Detroit or Michigan, I'm not sure if it's statewide or city. What's the licensing like? Like when can apprentice, like in Texas, I believe it's after 2 years, they can start doing certain jobs. Is that it? In Michigan, you cannot do that. You have to, after four years?
Yep. So you have to have 4 years of schooling and then
Yep.
8,000 hours of on-the-job training before you can go ahead and apply to take your journeyman's test.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So
It takes
you
about
really,
5 years to get your hours. It's about a 5 year.
yeah. Well, you're certainly well trained in Michigan. But it makes a challenge though, trying to find someone that's a good communicator that's also has that much training. So
Yes. We actually have a full apprenticeship program here. Most of that is tailored to our commercial guys. We take them
sure.
normally out of high school. They're interested, so we take about anywhere from 5 to 8 a year. We have a apprentice coordinator who kind of backs up their schooling because they do schooling online through MSU. We back it up in house here, and then we also on hands training here as well in our shop. And then in the field, they're constantly training.
That's fantastic. So when I'm intrigued by this working with the schools because that's something we trying to, get more and more members to do is reach out to high schools because there's lots of young people that, fewer and fewer people are going to college because they go, why would I want to be $500,000 in debt by the time I'm 21 or 22? So, now your two electricians that are current, were they apprentices at one point or were they from another company?
No, they're one's a master electrician and the other one's been an electrician for over 20 years. So
Okay, very good.
yeah,
Well, either way,
yeah.
season. So the apprentices, though, like what are your apprentice recruiter? What types of young people are they looking for? Are they just looking for those certain, attributes or backgrounds? Maybe they're athletes or just people that always were farm kids or they like to take things apart. Well, how do you kind of identify, a young person that's actually going to do a good job?
Yeah, so we actually all of those things. Sports are always great. The farm, working on a farm. We two of our really highly thought of apprentices right now. They were farm kids, growing up. So all of those. But we're looking for, sometimes they're from the building trades. So they've been sent over here by their teacher saying, hey, you know what? We really think this guy's going to really work out for you. He's, been
Yep.
really good at class. He's taken 2 or 3 years. But we're looking for those core values. Do they have the morals? Do they have the communication? Do they have that work ethic that we think that they're going to have that work ethic? So we're looking for all of that. And then they actually spend about 4 to 6 months here in our shop just learning how to have a job. What's that work ethic going to look like? Building stuff here in the shop for out in the field to get them, going and kind of get a feel for what it is to have a job. Because a lot of the kids are coming right from high school, so maybe they've been in sports, and so they've never had to, they have to do their sport on time, but they might not necessarily have to be at their job on time.
It's it's crazy. I've got two younger boys, and I worked as a kid and I played sports, but now sports is like a full-time job for these kids. So I definitely know what you're talking about. It's kind of crazy. But that's really neat. So who built out that program? Did that apprenticeship? You got 4 to 6, I think you said months, right? Or so who built
So
all
we
that?
actually have an apprentice coordinator. He's been here a little over 20 years. So he used to be a foreman in our commercial side. And so when we started the program, he kind of facilitated the whole thing. He's got a full training program. He breaks them down per year. Like I said, in our slow time, which is usually the winter time, they come in here, they have classroom training once every week. He facilitates that and kind of walks them through the whole process and gets them ready to take that